Today we're talking about all the financial matters relating to downsizing, or what I like to call right-sizing. So important questions like, what's the difference between a retirement village and a land lease community? What are the impacts on pension entitlement and rent assistance that people have to think about? And what to look for in your contract? You can get a sense of the houses and get a sense of the community, and you know that you want it, and then you just need to work out, well, can I afford it? What will my life actually look like? So that's what I'm going to try and help step you through. Firstly, the boring stuff, contracts. Contracts play a very important role. The role of a contract, says the person married to a lawyer, is to balance three things. It is to balance your rights, your responsibilities, and your costs at every point along the way. Before you move in, while you live there, and when you leave. Sometimes people get very hung up on one element. So sometimes people get very hung up on their costs, but they ignore their rights and responsibilities. It can help to just write down, what are my rights, what are my responsibilities, what are my costs along the way, and that way you know exactly what you're on the hook for. In a retirement village, your contract will generally take the form of either a leasehold or a licence arrangement. In a land lease community, you own your home. So that gives you a whole bunch of more rights and also responsibilities. If you choose to, you can paint the walls purple. When you go to sell that home, it might be harder to find somebody who enjoys purple walls, right? So you've got to balance those things out. You own the home and you lease the land on which it sits. And that creates a very unique ownership model from a social security point of view. If you get a pension, then we'll go through how that can impact on your pension entitlement, but also on your eligibility for rent assistance, which is something that most people haven't had prior to moving into a land lease community. So in a retirement village, to be eligible for rent assistance, you must pay an amount below what Centrelink call the extra allowable amount or the entry contribution limit. At the moment, that amount is $207,000. You pay an amount below that, Centrelink will say you're not a homeowner and you qualify for rent assistance. The amount of your home will then be included in your assets, but as a non-homeowner, you can have $207,000 more in your assets. So net, same from an asset test point of view. In a land lease community, they're not interested in what you pay for your home. You are always a homeowner, because guess what? You own your home. So that's nice and simple. And then because you lease the land on which your home sits, if you qualify for at least $1 of pension, then you qualify for rent assistance on what they call the site fees. So it's not proportionate. Sometimes people say to me, well, if I only get half of the full pension, does that mean I'm only able to claim a maximum of half the rent assistance? No. You can just get $1 of pension and claim all of the rent assistance. The rent assistance is based on what you pay for your weekly fee. So how much do we need to pay? And I've done the maths for you to work out how much do you need to pay to get the maximum rent assistance. So the way rent assistance gets calculated is once your rent or your site fees, your weekly fee goes above the threshold, they calculate rent assistance at 75 cents for every dollar. It is, in my opinion, the most generous of government entitlements. You pay $1 and they compensate you 75 cents. Tickety-boo. That's fantastic. It's just not infinitum. You can't go out and pay $1,000 a week and say to the government, you know what, the amount above $122 a fortnight, you pick up 75 cents in the dollar. So if you pay $305 as a single person, the government will pay you $137 as rent assistance. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? But if you pay $350, you're still going to get $137 a fortnight of rent assistance. That's what I mean, it's not endless.